how do we manage this? I mean, I can't imagine how hungry and thirsty this technology is going to get as it needs more and more energy to perform.
One thing we hear again and again is some communities don't want data centers or chip fab facilities or new power plants, and some really do. And I think the United States is a gigantic country, and there will be plenty of room to do this.
Well, that was OpenAI CEO Sam Altman talking to me late last year about the need for these data centers to power the country's rapidly advancing artificial intelligence technology. Now, this week, he was there at the White House as the president rolled out this multi-billion-dollar plan to meet that need here in the U.S. We are back with our panel, and Horace, it was almost immediately answered by Elon Musk stepping on what happened there at the White House, saying, oh, they don't have the money for it. How much of this is Musk wanting to be front and center, President Trump's best friend, and no one else intrudes, despite all the tech bros showing up?
Well, the president says the two men don't like each other.
It's true. There is litigation, to be fair.
And there's therefore some expression of that occurring. The thing that I'm most excited about is the importance of new energy generation centers. Whether we're talking about factories or plants, etc., we need more energy in America, and we need to deploy efforts, whether it's in Alaska, whether it's on the American Gulf, wherever we may find it, we need to start doing it. And so that I was very excited that they're going to bring in these kinds of resources that likely are going to follow with new energy development.
It was just part of this visual we got this week with the inauguration with all of these top Silicon Valley guys showing up. Maureen Dowd, writing in the New York Times, says it's a remarkable spectacle watching an entirely new power center flock to Washington, fight for Trump's attention, jockey to prove their loyalty, post groveling encomiums to Trump, throw money at him, clamor for 8-figure mansions around town. I mean, Andy, this is not what we've seen in the past, at least during a GOP administration.
That's true. I mean, it's sort of a new power clique coming to town. And, you know, this is a group of people that, you know, if you reverse, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, many of them were very, I'm trying to think of a polite way to say it, opposed to Donald Trump.
That's a polite way.
So, you know, they have some making up to do with the president, and they've been very quick to do so. And I thought that the AI announcement also showed a significant shift from Biden to Trump, and this was one of the biggest shifts. I mean, Biden was very cautious, very scared of AI, and was putting up guardrails around the technology. Trump is seeing it as an opportunity, and that's what many of the people surrounding him, not all, Musk and Altman, to your point, have had disagreements about AI, but Altman is seeing it as an opportunity and as a way to get the country in a place where it can compete with the Chinese, who are also seeing AI as an opportunity.
Exactly, and President Trump does not want to fall behind them. That's clear from this administration. That's one of the driving forces on getting this AI and the power force it needs centered here in the U.S. Now, about this spat between the tech bros, Steve Bannon, who's been on the inner circle of Trump for a long time, says this to Politico: I've never seen action like this in my life about Musk kind of stepping on the announcement. He says he also called on White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles to sit him down and sort it out immediately. And Kevin, it sounds like there has been some Susie Wiles, Elon Musk conversationing going on this weekend on various issues.
Probably makes some sense. Susie's doing a great job as chief of staff, ran a great campaign. And look, I think these are growing pains of the Trump realignment. And for this movement, lifelong movement, conservative, it's great to see all of these men and women who, as Andy said, politely opposed Trump the last time come around. It remains to be seen if the skepticism that I might have about a few of them, say Jeff Bezos and some others, will of course be legitimate. But ultimately, I applaud Trump for trying to do this. And that is, as it relates to artificial intelligence, balancing the need for American innovation with the common good. Because that, for not just conservatives, but I would like to think for liberal friends too, is really something that we can agree on. And if Chief of Staff Susie Wiles can, of course, bring this home and keep everyone on the reservation, then I'm really optimistic about the policy outcome.
What do you make of it, Richard?
It's got to be quite a big reservation. Look, I think there's a couple of things. I do think that it was very interesting to watch an inauguration where you saw in the second row, almost across from all of the former elected presidents, were tech CEOs instead of governors or folks who were democratically elected by the people. You saw people who sort of bought their way into the inauguration. They were allowed to do so. And I think that causes pause for a lot of Americans. I think with that being said, when you think about Donald Trump's agenda, which is an American first agenda, or America first agenda, it's important to remember that for this AI expansion that he wants to happen, it's going to require foreign resources, right? Remember, Joe Biden's last trip in December was to Angola. Part of that trip was to install a train line which was going to move copper to the port so the copper could come to America to produce power here in America to generate AI. If you continue on the path of the Rubio State Department, which is no more foreign aid, then this sort of puts a stalemate in Trump's plan to create these sort of AI generating farms, to create this AI power, which is necessary. So for the Trump team, how do you create AI without a foreign policy that focuses on investing in other countries that have the raw materials to make it possible?
By creating energy in our own country, which
Yeah,
we
but
haven't done
we
the
don't
last
have
4 years.
copper.
Greenland.
Yeah, we need copper.
Yeah, there's
we don't have
Greenland.
copper here.
We're the most abundant natural
But
resources
we don't
in the
have
world.
copper. Copper is critical for AI and for the farms, and they don't have it. And you have to go to
I feel
Africa
like
to
President
get it.
Trump is a wheeler dealer who will find a way to get his hands on what he thinks America needs. But I do think that he's very much about the center of the conversation should be about focusing as much of that production here as possible.
Absolutely.
And with the hundreds of billions of dollars that showed up at the White House, we'll see how that all materializes and whether the robots take over and all of us. Okay, panel. Thank you very much.